What's up, jobbers, and welcome to the latest edition of the Jobber Knocker podcast. As always, is Nestlemania alongside for the ride is a man that always tells me to shut my bitch ass up, JC.
Can you smell what JC is cooking today, baby? I am so fired up, Nestlemania. Let's go.
I wasn't as shocked that he returned because they said he was in Denver.
He was in Colorado with Coach Prime, baby.
I will say this much, though. I mean, the fact that he came out, the crowd went electric, and then, of course, he had to swear because that's what The Rock does is swear. I don't think he cannot cut a promo without swearing now, it seems. But he had that amazing moment. He had an amazing moment backstage with John Cena as well. And for people, we've talked about this previously on this program, but it bears repeating. Anybody who's been shitting on Austin Theory, they don't just let any Joe Schmo hang with The Rock. You know what I mean? And so the man's worked with Austin. He's worked with McMahon. He's worked with Rey Mysterio. He's worked with Edge. John Cena. The list goes on. And The Rock. It's like they don't just give this guy opportunities because they think whatever, it doesn't matter. The guy can sell. The guy's annoying, and he does a great job. And so everybody thinks he's dead in the water. He's not. He's 26 years old. He's perfectly fine.
He's 26 years old. All your favorites in WWE, you know what they were doing at 26 years old? Not working for WWE. So anyone who says that's a dumb fucking dork who doesn't know shit and just whatever. But this segment was great. Obviously, Pat McAfee kicked off the show. We get Austin Theory interrupting them. They obviously have some history. But Pat set it up being like, you know what? SmackDown, we're in Colorado. This is the people show. And you alluded to it. That pop, man. I mean, even The Rock said that's one of the best pops he's ever got. And it's funny because it's just a random SmackDown in Colorado. But Colorado Super Energies right now because they got Coach Prime, baby. And the Colorado Buffaloes 3-0. Big game this week against Oregon. But
as a Cowboys fan, are you pro Coach Prime?
I mean, Dion was one of my favorite players growing up, even when he didn't play for my favorite team. I love people with personalities, hence why I really enjoy wrestling. I mean, Coach Prime is a larger-than-life college personality, just period, and he is changing the way college football is done for the better, and it is great, and I love it, and everyone's on board. That's why, the amount of celebrities there wasn't just The Rock. It's like you got freaking like a Lil Wayne and Offset, and you got tons of just everyone. Everyone who's anyone was at the Colorado game, which is awesome. So it was cool that The Rock was there, and it was just happened to work out that SmackDown was there the night before with College Game Day. So you get McAfee and you get The Rock. This was a great segment to kick off SmackDown, a show that, especially when Roman Reigns isn't on it, it's hard to watch sometimes, besides my boy Grayson. But this segment was great. You know, we had all the stupid shit. My favorite part actually of the segment was when Theory hit The Rock with his own, "It doesn't matter." I popped for that big time because you never see anyone getting a chance to get over on The Rock a little bit there. So that was fun. But this was a blast. This was an absolute blast. And then obviously it ended how we knew it would end with doubles people's elbows for Austin Theory from Pat and The Rock.
So the $1 million or maybe $1 billion question here is this is the first SmackDown of Endeavor. There's been a lot. I mean, I watched the Pat McAfee show live on YouTube when The Rock was on. He let that slip about WrestleMania 39 that it was almost a lock, essentially. But they couldn't, come to a conclusion to what to do. And they want to get, and this is the part that always drives me insane about The Rock when he says, "I want to give something unprecedented. I want to give the fans something different." In my
There's
head,
nothing to give. You're going to wrestle in space?
That's exactly. What is it going to be? Rock X? Like, come on. It doesn't
make any sense. It's an excuse because he didn't want to get in shape.
I don't know. For me, I look at it like, so then Brandy comes out with that whole thing about The Rock, and it's like, first off, don't do that. Like that's the worst thing you can do. But all I kept thinking was, do you need The Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania with the title? My answer is no.
It's
Not with the title.
So there's a problem. My answer is going to surprise you here because obviously you know what I want. Everyone knows what I want, but the biggest match to make in wrestling is Roman and The Rock. And it's hard to envision a way that, especially at this next year's WrestleMania, that Roman is not the champion taking on The Rock, because that would mean someone has already diminished Roman's legacy. Because especially, I think we agree that Roman's probably going to go over on Dwayne here. I would be very surprised if it was the other way around. So it's one of those things. It doesn't, like, I don't care if he has a title or not because he's going to win. So I think it means more with the title, as much as this is why I said last year, let Cody do it. Because you know what you could do this year? Roman and Rock dream match for the fucking, and the title wouldn't even be on the radar. It wouldn't matter. And we would be here, but he still has it. So I'm honestly, I think I don't, because I don't know how you get there without the title. Like, you can have Priest cash in on Roman Reigns. He's going to be the one that ends this historic reign. Like, I'm big on Damian Priest, but what are we even talking about here? So it's one of those, like, this is the biggest match to make in wrestling. It's not even debatable. There's not even a debate. They split those titles. So Roman only has one of them, even though it's the main title. But it's one of those things, obviously, as a Cody fan, it kind of giving me the bluest of all the blue balls. I got American Nightmare balls on there. They're red because I'm angry and blue because I'm sad. So what does that make? America, bitch. But yeah, I don't know. It's the biggest match to make. I think it has to have the title if you're doing it. So it's one of those, it is what it is. Even though it's not the biggest match for JC, no. But in terms of everything, like, there's no bigger match to make.
So the problem that I have with this entire thing is I think it can go without the championship. Roman Reigns versus The Rock on a marquee can work. That's a dream match in itself, and that's fine. Cody can win at the Rumble. Cody could win the night before at WrestleMania night 1. I don't care. The other thing that bothers me is that whole line of him saying, I want to do something unprecedented. I want to do something different. To me, I can't deal with that because, like you said, the stone has been pretty much unturned on any aspect of wrestling in terms of at least storyline potentials. Now, I'm sure they can try to think of something, but to me, if you tell that to the people, then there is a double explanation or a double expectation, probably even more, that this is going to be something that should be bigger than it is. And it always will under deliver, in my opinion, when you do that. Like with The Rock is trying to overdo it when it can just be The Rock and Roman. That's all you need. And it sells. Whether Roman goes over, whether Rock goes over, it don't matter. It just doesn't matter. It's good business. And for me, I get aggravated with that shit because it just makes me feel like it's a cop-out. It's like, oh, nope, that's been done before. Oh, nope. That's just not going to work for me, brother. Like, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, I said it earlier. It's that felt like an excuse to me when he said that. It's like, no,
absolutely.
You didn't want to put in the schedule. You know, again, if I was the fucking Rock, I wouldn't either. That guy doesn't have to prove anything to anyone. The only motivation for him to come back was to fucking do business with his fucking cousin and make him look amazing. Like, that's it. Because The Rock has nothing to prove. The Rock doesn't need to do anything. The Rock doesn't know what. The Rock is one of the biggest movie stars in the world. I'm talking to the third person for The Rock right now, baby. So I don't know. It just, I still don't know if we're going to get it next year. Obviously, like, because it's one of those things. It's like, oh, they could pay him all the money in the world. It's like The Rock doesn't need money. So, like, that's not for The Rock to do this. He has to want to do it, and it's like for his life. Like, I mean, look, if this strike keeps lasting forever, whatever. But I mean, I'm assuming it's going to end well before then, which means The Rock's going to be working again. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We got a lot of time before then.
Doc, we'll answer this question. I'm assuming in a little bit, so I'm not ignoring your question. I think that's a good question. We'll talk about it.
Oh yeah, we'll get there.
So just remind me, JC.
We're in the Shine, Doc. You can't be bringing up shit like that in the Shine. Come on, you know better. No, just kidding. This is a good question, and we are going to get to it.
All right, so I guess we get into the other part of the Shine, unless you want more Rock talk.
Yeah, because you know who also is as big of a star as The Rock? Grayson Waller, who happened to have John Cena on his show. He's a kind of big star himself, but the Grayson Waller effect. This is like a weekly thing. I mean, look at these two. I just them talking together is like a dream. I love that Grayson Waller dropped the line from the Colorado State coach on Cena in front of the crowd about, and I talk to adults, I don't wear a hat, blah, blah, blah. Like, I thought that was a nice touch. It's one of those things like just picking up on things that can get you easy heat from the crowd, a good reference there. But yeah, I just like this whole segment started with John Cena being able to speak because Grayson would ask him a question and then answer for him. It's vintage. Miz does the shit too, makes it easy, but it sets it up. So when Cena finally does start to get his shit, it works. Obviously, we get the worst Uso coming out, doing his thing, interrupting, then out comes Solo, and he ends up taking out Cena. So we probably have a Solo Cena match down the line, which actually is pretty exciting, but I'm curious your take on all this.
So I love the Grayson Waller stuff. I love Cena not trying to get anything in. I thought that was wonderful. Jimmy Uso is like a wet fart to me. I just can't do it. There's something about Jimmy Uso that I don't know if it's his previous history as a human being or if it's just
he's Marty Jannetty.
Yeah, I think it's just bizarre to me. It's like they're twins, but like Jay Uso on Monday nights is so fucking cool. And then to watch him hype up the crowd, doing the arm thing, like everybody wants to be cool. Everybody wants to belong. So if they want to be cool with the cool Uso, they're going to do the fucking arm bit. And then it's just like Jimmy, again, very serviceable wrestler, can do it. But I think shoving it in a certain way doesn't make any sense. And I'm sure we're going to get a Cena Jimmy Uso or, something along the lines. Nobody will care about that. I feel like you're just trying to keep Jimmy afloat till WrestleMania, which is a long fucking ask for us as fans because Jay's going to fucking have a trajectory of probably he could get the IC title at some point, I would imagine, or maybe the United States title. He could be in that conversation, I think. Maybe challenge for the world title, but probably not win. But like he's got a ceiling that is very high. But Jimmy is just asking us to think that he's a credible threat till WrestleMania. I can't deal. I can't deal with it.
Yeah, it's a problem because I don't know how. Because that's the thing is Jay, like you said, he's believable as they call him manager Ben Uso, like Jay Uso. Like it's believable that he's a top single star. And yes, the story of him and his brother will probably bring us back in, but Jimmy's just hasn't been believable as a single star. And it should be easier as a heel, but it's just like I look at him on SmackDown and it's like, yeah, no. I just like you want to face John Cena. I'd rather name 10 other guys in this roster. I'd rather face John Cena than Jimmy Uso. You know what I mean? He just feels out of place when he's in the ring with John Cena and Grayson Waller and AJ Styles and all these guys. It doesn't feel right. And there's something they got to work on. They have a lot of time, but the problem is they also have a lot of time is the negative too. So yeah, no, I know it's kind of negative part of it here, but I thought this segment would have been like amazingly perfect if we didn't have it. I obviously understood why Jimmy interrupted, but it's just like,
If I could go back and, bear
witness. Time?
Yeah, exactly. If I could turn back time. I was trying to harmonize, but we were like on a delay. It's fine. The one thing I did want to bring up, necessarily not going to happen all the time. Detective Nestle is back for 1 minute. The fact that Heyman said, who gave that order to Solo, right? There's two trains of thought here. It could be that the elders directly tell Solo what to do this entire time, and that's going to be what cooks for Solo versus Roman Reigns at some point. Or, give him a little shimmy, it could be The Rock, right? The Rock could be calling the shots too, So, excuse me, Joe, you don't like Cher? How are you supposed to believe with life after love? Do you believe in
life after love, after love, after love?
I can feel something
inside me say, I really don't give a shit about the bloodline stuff. Oh,
that's a great song. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, that's great. It's an absolute great song. I'm not the biggest Cher honk in the world.
No, of course not.
I mean, it's got some bangers, man. It's undeniable. It's undeniable.
But no, so the Solo thing is cool. I buy Solo. I love
Solo.
I love Heyman being a fucking parrot from fucking Jafar. Like that's what he is to me every time he talks now. I don't know. It's hard. It's difficult. Jimmy is just not, and I know Jimmy literally has never been a single star, and Jay had at least a year when Jimmy was out, so it's not really.
And Jay got the Roman rub about with it, so
it's not a necessary until Jimmy and Roman might face. Maybe there's some magic there. I don't know, But I
think the issue for me is I'm not in love with the character that he has to play. And I don't love like the bloodline storyline just isn't interesting. When Roman Reigns comes back, I'm going to be in. But this just like this shit with him and being like, I'm part of the bloodline. Oh, I'm not part of the bloodline. Oh, Paul, oh, Solo, blah, blah. Just
and I'm not
doesn't
really
do anything for me till the tribal cuck returns.
I'm not even interested in the idea. I'm not. This is just me. I'm not interested in the idea of forging the whole bloodline and Judgment Day thing. Like, I think that's bizarre to me. I think it doesn't make any goddamn sense, and I feel like we're watering down the bloodline. We're watering down by association. We're watering down Judgment Day, and it's like, ooh, mommy wants Jey Uso, and I hate that dynamic
either. Yeah,
I think it's a dynamic that I don't care about. Keep Judgment Day with you know the JD and the Finn and the Priest thing was great. Like, let's just keep going with that. But now they've gone into this. Here's what I think they do, and this is just from my perspective, watching as a fan. It feels like they see what's hot, they know what's going, and they milk it for all it's worth. But in doing so, they forget everything else that's going on in the program. And it's like Jey Uso is the focal point of Monday Night Raw right now. We don't have anything for Cody, it seems. It's terrible. You should have something for the biggest star in the fucking company, but you don't. And then it's just like, okay, Judgment Day is cooking. Let's just let them be everywhere and everything. But Jey Uso and Judgment Day have to be a thing. And it's like, no, if you put the act away from something else, then I would feel better about it. It'd be like Jey having to deal with just nobody liking him on his own can be a separate trajectory. It can be a separate way to go. Judgment Day can be another act. Now I'm not fatigued with 45 fucking promos backstage being like, will he, won't he, will he, won't he, da 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 da. It makes my head spin and I don't like it.
I will say this, because I honestly, I did not enjoy much of Raw last night. I thought the show was a fucking mess and whatever, but this main event, like this whole stuff with from the kickoff to the main event and everything was the only things that really held my attention most of the night. So yeah, I tend to agree with you. Obviously, like Cody and Dom in the ring together, I absolutely love that. That's shine for me. But again, Cody just squashes him, as he probably should. I'm kind of glad because it kind of told me, okay, Cody is done with Dom there, but the part, and you kind of alluded to it there, is like their obsession with Jey Uso means that suddenly it's like, okay, so how we're going to get sympathy for Jey Uso is obviously he super kicked the Judgment Day in the main event. We're going to build sympathy for him by having him get beat down, which means we're just continually headed to 6-man tags where it's just going to be like Cody and Sammy and Jay versus the Judgment Day, or Cody KO and Sammy or Jay versus the Judgment Day and JD McDonough, an 8-man tag. Just so it's one of those, like, I don't love that aspect of it, but in terms of like what I cared about on Raw this week, it was all that stuff. And I will say, I mean, some people call him main event Jey Uso, but I'm more focused on main event Mac, baby, picking up the big win in the main event. The heel turn is coming, baby. We're cooking towards it. I did like the interesting character thing with him because obviously he's been very like angry lately, but it showed he still has a little bit of good boy Mac in there after he picks up the win. I like that he didn't immediately run in and save Jey Uso. I like that because I'm like, oh my God, they're going to blow this immediately. I'm like that he thought about it, but then he still was like, nah, fuck that. I'm like, okay, that's important for him at this point because it's one of those like, maybe he does end up forgiving Jey Uso just out of respect because he hates the Judgment Day more or whatever. But I'm like, I'm glad they didn't blow the load in one night because I was real worried that's what they were going to do. But it's one of those things like it was a main event where it's like, okay, this is a singles match between two of the bigger stars. I kind of want to see how it plays out. I'm usually a McIntyre hater, but this little like weird thing he's got going on has me interested. So hashtag main event Mac, hashtag big win, hashtag I'm not a Brit shamer, you are. I love that.
Can I just ask a question? And again, and I might be on Nestle Island again, like I always am, but I'm just curious. Did it feel though, like throughout the night, it felt like it didn't matter what the match outcome was? It was more about Jey making a decision than it was.
Yeah, but you could say that about a lot of type of main events. Because, you know, the reason why I actually kind of like this one, yes, I did see your tweet. I'm saying how it wasn't, but I had this before. It's because like, how often do we actually get like single match main events between top stars on Raw? Not very often. A lot of the times these main events are like tag matches or 6-man tag matches, like kind of like stuff like that. So I feel like those are ones because it's a TV show. It's more storyline driven. So that's why for me, it was a little refreshing this week that we had a singles match that we haven't really seen like this type of thing, but also flooded still with the story. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Yes, I'm more focused on the Jey Uso story aspect of it, but it's also intersecting this McIntyre arc, which I'm interested in. And I think that it was important for the right man to win, especially what happened after. So I actually really liked it. And it was for a Raw that I did not really care for at all. I thought this stuff kind of was like the only thing that kept me so like I wasn't a complete loss.
Okay. What else do you like that's positive?
We can jump back over to SmackDown because I just said I didn't like anything else on Raw. Bobby and the Profits are still getting big reactions. They're starting to lean more into the heel stuff, which I'm okay with, but they literally squashed the LWO and beat the living fuck out of them. I mean, the LWO, I mean, I might have to throw them in jobber for the jobber of the year because these guys get squashed all the time. But I mean, it's just one of those things like it just the reactions are so good for Bobby and the Profits, and I love that they can still fucking do bad things and people just don't care. We just like them because we wanted this for so long.
Oh, it was in Denver and Bobby's from Denver.
Well, that helps too, but I'm just saying any show you go to, Bobby Lashley's music, he gets one of the biggest pops. It's one of those things like he's just been like a megastar for them the last couple of years. And that's why for most of this year when he just wasn't on TV, I'm like, what are we doing? But I'm glad that they're a weekly thing now. They're starting to get their groove. They're going to run through the LWO and then they're going to keep moving on up. And eventually we're going to get a showdown, whether it's the Judgment Day or whether it's the Bloodline, like giddy up.
I was so happy when I saw them like hold Ray's legs and then they sucker punch him. And I'm like, wow. It's amazing to me what one little move will do to make you go like, this is refreshing. Because as much as I was entertained by the Profits for a very long time and they're awesome, it's almost like, what else do you got? You know? And so now I'm looking at it like, okay, Bobby is going to give a fresh coat on this entire experience for everybody. And I think that's wonderful.
Literally a fresh coat.
Yeah, seriously. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's Bobby Lashley can carry himself in a way that is believable, right? I
mean, there's not many more believable looking superstars than Bobby Lashley. You looking at me like, yeah, that guy could kick my ass and anybody else who walks through that door.
Right, exactly. And then so here's the thing. I'm not saying the Street Profits aren't tough. They clearly are, but they've gone with the whole like song and dance and like being ha the whole time. Now I'm interested into seeing, and this is not the right word, but this is the only thing that comes to mind is like street cred. Like
they are the Street Profits.
They need, you know what I mean? Like they need some type of, they're not gangsters, but they need to have some type of toughness to them in a way that isn't so like, gee golly gosh, or like every time I watch Montez Ford, it's like he's the wrestling equivalent of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You know what I mean? Like he's got a Will Smith like charm to him. You know what I mean? So I want to see some darker stuff and like I want to see some heel stuff. So when they did that, I popped very big. So I agree with you. It was a great part of that show.
The only other real piece of shine that I enjoyed was also on SmackDown. I enjoyed the LA Knight and the Miz, the rematch here. I felt like we got the definitive end to this. So, but yeah, LA Knight's on the uppity up. I think this worked. They obviously did their best to try to make Miz even more credible coming in, but I thought this was obviously a much simpler and quicker match than the original one, but I thought it did what it had to do.
Is it odd to you that afterwards he made a comment about the title or every title that
he referenced every title, but it's one of those things like when you're doing what you're doing with LA Knight, like you got to tease the crowds with everything. You know what I mean? Because let's be real, LA Knight's facing Roman Reigns probably before and he's going to lose, but it's one of those, like, he's also probably going to get another title at some point. I would love to see him, like, especially if Priest wins that world title at some point. I think LA Knight's a candidate, man. He's a candidate. Like that's how you break him through. Like he's the type of babyface that would be perfect for that. But I think that's a little more down the line. But I like that they're teasing it because it's one of those things. Like he just got the two biggest wins of his career against a two-time former world champion in the Miz. It's like you got to be thinking about championships. That's why I'm glad like Grayson's talking about it too. Like these types of guys, it shouldn't just be enough for them to be like, oh yeah, I love doing this. Like no, everyone should be wanting a championship. So I like when you're coming off something like that. Like if you watch, I watch a lot of UFC, but you immediately see it. A guy wins a couple big fights in a row. Even if he doesn't deserve it, he's talking about like, I want that title shot. I think I deserve it, whatever. So it's like, it's one of those things like in WWE, you want to be a champion. So I like that he should be, after beating a former two-time world champion twice, being like, maybe I want the US title. Maybe I want the Intercontinental. Maybe I want this. Maybe I want that. That's what he should be saying because that's how we climb that ladder with LA Knight. Yeah.
I do wonder, it probably is the United States Championship. That just seems like the easiest thing to go about. So when I look at it, I think like he's definitely not the guy to do the Roman thing. That's definitely not.
No, but he'll take an elder Roman for sure.
I don't know. It is what it is. What is Roberto saying here? I'm going to be on Yeah, I am going to be honest. The Rock and Roman Reigns situation is going to happen, and it's going to happen until 2025. Cody is taking the title from Roman at 40. Rock versus Roman might start to get hype after WrestleMania 40. So we talked about this earlier, Roberto, but I don't want The Rock anywhere near a championship. I mean, if you want to put him at WrestleMania 41, fantastic. But to me, The Rock doesn't have anything to prove at this point. I don't think it's necessary. And, JC over here being a giant Cody Rhodes guy, he just wants to see Cody win so he can cry and finally be like, yes, it happened.
My moment, baby. It's never going to be what it could have been, but it's still going to be great.
Right now, Cody Rhodes isn't even finishing the story. He's bookmarked. Like, that's exactly like he's just stuck in a bookmark. Like, we have nowhere to go until fucking Royal Rumble.
They ended the first book. I'm like, now we're doing a 7-book series. You got a while.
Yeah, exactly. Harry Potter itself.
It's like Game of Thrones. It might just never come out.
Oh my God. Unfucking believable. Anything else?
I got no more shine. We can go to the
Let's get heaty. Get him off my TV. Get him off my TV. Get him off my TV. Where shall we start? Can I just say something very quickly?
Yes.
What the fuck are we doing with Shinsuke Nakamura and Seth Rollins?
I don't know, but I don't care. It's one of those, like, if you ask me what makes me the most bored in wrestling right now, it's these guys. I don't care. I literally, like, it was on, and I found myself, like, I started to watch it, and I stopped paying attention. I'm like, I'm just going to fast forward it, because I just don't care. Why are we doing a rematch?
I don't know. I don't care. I think the problem I have is, like, the promo he had afterwards where he was losing his mind, to me, was the most entertaining part of the entire process, besides Shinsuke putting on the fat head. Like, that was it. To me,
that was
like,
funny or whatever.
Yeah, but like it didn't help.
No.
So I look at it like, give Shinsuke the belt, says Doc. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Yeah, he is. That's insane.
You are you make some ridiculous comments, my friend. You really do. That's almost Guthrie worthy. And he had a birthday, by the way. Shout out to our boy Guth.
Happy birthday, Guthrie. I'm glad that Zoe Stark exists for you.
I feel like I just cannot watch Shinsuke Nakamura in another match with Seth Rollins. I just can't.
We need to get that belt on Priest, because either Seth needs to face the top people on Raw, or just put it on Priest. Because enough of Seth not facing the top people anymore. I'm over it. I don't care. It feels like a mid-card title. The world champion on Monday Night Raw is the Intercontinental Championship.
I don't think that's okay. What did he say? Anime Shinsuke is good stuff, though. Yeah, for a mid-card title.
It's an interesting character, but I don't think either of us are buying him as a world champion. And we've already seen Seth beat him once, so we're just doing a rematch because he hurt Seth Rollins. He took away his pride by beating him up. I don't fucking care, man. Then fucking do that after he loses the title. Should have had Priest cash in on them, and these two can have their little stupid blood feud in the mid-card where it belongs.
Yeah. The other thing, too, is take it this way. If Shinsuke Nakamura was so red hot, if Shinsuke Nakamura was a big fucking deal, he'd be bigger than Cody. He'd be bigger than Jay. Main event, he'd be bigger than Jey Uso. He'd be bigger than the Judgment Day. And he's not. He's like 4th or 5th, maybe 10th.
He's not bigger than main event Mac. He's not bigger than Sammy and KO. The list goes on. Not bigger than Dirty Dom.
All right. Well, I'm just saying, it's hard. It's fucking hard. It's hard to watch. I don't like it at all, personally.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about it because I don't give a shit. But on Nestlemania, Doc asked about it earlier, so I think we talk about it now. And that's okay. I mean, obviously main roster people have NXT titles, but obviously Becky Lynch beat Tiffany Stratton last week for the NXT Championship, and she decided to have an open challenge, Nestle. Not on NXT though, on Monday Night Raw. And we're thinking, this could be interesting. I wonder who it could be. And the crowd goes mild because it's fucking Natalya. After Becky had just cut a promo talking about how excited she's worked with the younger talent and do all this and that, it's like, no. They literally gave you this title so they could check it off on your resume to make you happy, to keep you away from Rhea Ripley. And now you're just going to come on Raw every week and defend it against fucking main roster superstars like Natalya. Fuck off.
I was so, like, it was the equivalent of letting the air out of the room.
Yeah.
And when you see the reports today, whether you believe it or not, is
the shiniest wizard, Tegan Nox, is supposed to be in that spot, which, you know what? That would have been JC's comeback this week because Tegan Nox is a stud. I love her. And you know what, Nestlemania, you ready for this? Tegan Nox is Becky Lynch without getting a bloody nose from Nia and has different color hair. That's the only difference.
It's like you just put it out there.
Yep.
And he's trying to reel me in.
Yep.
He's trying to
Well,
reel me in.
you've historically been a Tegan Knox hater because apparently you don't like young talent with a fun personality.
She has
who's had 2 devastating knee injuries that have derailed her
she's
career.
broken.
And she's continued to come back from it. You're broken. You're broken, and we still let you on this program. You have
Let me.
headband to keep your stupid little tiny brain in your head.
First off, I have incredible hair, Doc. So you can see this hairline right here. That's fine.
Yeah, that's yeah. No people who tell me they have great hair. People who don't have great hair.
Hey, you know what? Take off your hat. Show me your hairline.
I've had it because I've been wearing a hat all day. My
Sure.
hairline's fine though, bro.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. And whatever. Secondly, I don't know what we were talking about. Oh, Tegan Knox.
We were talking about how great Tegan Knox is, and
she's not great. She's not great, Bob.
Great.
She's not great.
She's great.
No, she's not. She's not. Here's the thing.
She's great. You dislike her because guess what? Where's she from? Oh, that's right. You're a Brit shamer. You don't like the Welsh.
That has nothing to do with it. There's nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. I'll say this much right now. If she was interesting, she'd be on my TV.
She is interesting.
She's not interesting. She's not interesting.
We got Nesta and I got into a heated debate in the knocker thread today because
Jesus.
I just sent like the quote of her being in, and of course he got all fucking anti-British wrestling.
No, that is not it. You're slandering me right now.
And literally, we probably exchanged about 30 different GIFs that
my
perfectly encapsulated an entertainer and someone entertaining Tegan Knox. Because she has a larger than life personality.
No, she does
Has she been
not.
able to show it? Absolutely not. But we all fell in love with her at NXT, and then she blew out her knee. Fell in love with her again, blew out her knee, and then she just got
she's damaged goods.
Nowhere, stuck with Shotzi and rode a tank. She's never got a chance to do it. She's an absolute fucking stud. She's amazing. If she would have come out this week, it would have been great. Her and Becky would have had a 5-star classic.
Oh,
I would have given her a comeback. Would have fucking absolutely loved it. But
you are
instead,
over,
we got
over
fucking Natalia, and we got Nessel continuing to slander British wrestling.
That is not it. I told you I had a list of people on here in the thread that I said that I enjoyed.
Like 4 people you like.
That's not true at all. You guys give me shit saying all I want is American wrestlers on my program.
No, Danny gives you shit saying
Danny should knock it off. First off, I can give you the entire list if you want me to go through all the people that
gives a shit about your list, Nessel.
No, all I'm saying is
there are people. Go to a show with Jericho.
Listen, the reason she's not on your TV is because she's not good enough. Plain and simple. I'm sorry. She's just not good enough. She's serviceable. Listen, she's serviceable. She's decent. But guess what? She cannot connect with a crowd. She just can't fucking do it. I'm sorry.
Wrong, because she connected with a crowd at NXT and stuff, and then got hurt. Your statements are so fucking moronic.
No, you're moronic.
If she was given opportunities, she would succeed. But you know what? It's one of those things. WWE, not everyone gets opportunities. It's just the way it is. And this looked like it might have been one for her. But again, I understand why they gave this opportunity to Natalia. She just fucking Becky couldn't make it to India. Natalia wrestled 2 matches. She stepped up. They wanted to give her a little rub. And you know what? I guarantee you, this got leaked on purpose because now they can have Tegan do it and people will love it.
And guess what? You'll never hear from.
She'll probably beat Rhea Ripley because Rhea Ripley's the one who fucking injured her in the first place. So
can I say
there
this?
You go. Full circle. Finish the story.
Full circle. You say full circle? You said full circle.
Full circle. Full circle, bitch. We're going full circle in this bitch.
Listen.
We're in the heat.
When she
talking about how much we fucking hate that Becky Lynch is defending against old assets and Talia.
Listen. You
derailed it with your hate.
No. Listen. Thank you, Joe. Tegan Knox has no character. I agree, Joe. I agree.
That isn't true. You have no character.
That's not true at all. Full circle. Hashtag. That's what it is. Full circle. That's what we're going to do from now on.
Full circle, bitch.
Full circle jerky. Here we go. So here's the other thing. I think if Becky Lynch has an open challenge John Cena style with NXT talent coming through, I'm fine with this. I think it's a great idea. No. Having Becky on Raw with the NXT championship, having that, and then having NXT people on Raw, giving them a little bit of the Becky rub, as well as the fact that you're being able to showcase these people who may or may not be ready for prime time, but getting them acclimated with the idea of what Raw is. And then they get a little bit of star power with Becky Lynch back on Tuesday nights.
They're only going to do that with Tiff, Roxanne, or Cora, though. They're not putting any of the rest of them up there. That's why the open challenge thing. That's why you're going to get, when she does these every week on Raw, you're going to get more Natalias and Tegans than you are NXT people. You know what I mean?
But
they're not going to have fucking Kiana James show up and do an impromptu match with Becky Lynch. It's not going to do that. They're not going to have Fallon Henley show up on Raw and have an impromptu match with Becky Lynch. It's not doing.
But the thing,
it's either Tiff, Roxanne, or Cora.
There's plenty of people on that show that can do something. Like a Fallon Henley.
Yeah, I agree. Call up Lola Vice. Get her on my TV more. I agree.
Sure. But I'm telling you right now that it is an absolute good idea to have those NXT women who are actually really fucking good can do it.
It's my favorite show.
Plenty of them. There's plenty of women that can handle that. Even if it's a smaller match, even if it's 5 minutes, that's fine. That's 5. I don't hate the Dom one at all because I think
I like the Dom one.
I think that's on its end. You know what I mean? So
I think so too, but I also think the way they did it is they found a way to get the title off Wes Lee annoyingly and legitimately so that he can immediately move up. But it's also like the biggest criticism with Dom is that he never had to do developmental in this or that. And I literally look at this as been like him getting a little bit of developmental, he's literally working every show. He's on all 3 shows every week, first of all. But second of all, it's like he's learning how to be a champion without them having to push him too early to a championship on the main roster, if that makes sense. And I kind of like how they've done it because I think we've seen growth from Dom in terms of like, okay, this kid can be a believable champion. Like, yeah, he's a sniveling shit right now, but it's one of those things. He's getting that experience that he never really had while he's also still doing his main job. The kid's working overtime. The Becky one, look at like, I don't disagree with the thing about getting exposure on it and this or that, but it just kind of feels like, yes, we know why they're doing it because they're trying to continue to give Becky whatever she wants while they could drag out till Mania with Rhea, which makes sense. I understand you want to save the big match, but it's I don't know. I just if we're getting like open challenges with Natalya every week and then on NXT she just goes down there and doesn't wrestle, I don't love that.
I think Becky Lynch will wrestle more on NXT than we think. It'll probably be more tag matches.
Make her a workhorse.
I think that's important. The other thing too is from a strictly a business standpoint, I think it's fantastic to have a draw like Becky Lynch on NXT because
and Dom, when their segments do huge numbers, which is great for NXT. Right.
And I think that especially when the TV rights deals are coming up, they're putting the time and effort into the idea of like, see, look what we're doing. We're not just sending, anybody down here. We're sending like main event people coming down here who are on your weekly Mondays and Fridays. They're doing all that shit. And I think that's important because you're keeping Becky away from Rhea, but you're also allowing Becky Lynch to make NXT only, you've said it's the best show all week, which it's my favorite.
I'm not saying it's the best show. I'm saying it's personally my favorite show.
It's the most watchable show.
I agree. Because I don't think there's nothing to skip really.
Right.
Unless you just plain don't like someone. Right. It's just like it's everything because our biggest criticism, we talked about it earlier with the main roster shows, it feels like they put so much effort in the top of the card that the bottom just kind of get it. NXT, it feels like everything gets attention. Even the lamest, dumbest storylines and the wrestlers you don't care about, their storylines I at least care about. Like there are wrestlers that I'm not fans of, but I literally don't fast forward their stuff because there's a story there that I'm interested in.
So I think overall, I don't hate the idea of her having the championship. I hoped it last week, right? That was my hope that she wins. But if we have to deal with Natalya's all the time, if we have to deal with main stars on the roster challenging for the NXT title, then we're doing the NXT championship a disservice.
I agree.
And I think that's where we have to draw the line. You want to throw in a Tegan Nox? Fine. You want to throw in an Isla Dawn? Fine. You want to throw people who are just, you know what I mean?
An Isla Dawn.
Yeah. But I mean,
that's orange on orange crime too.
Yeah, exactly. And that's okay. One's real and one's not. But that's okay. I know. We love orange. You got some.
That match would have a lot of moxie.
But no, I think that if we're gonna dip our toe into NXT, we got to have some ladies from the NXT up there. Otherwise, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what are we doing? So, sorry, Doc. I don't know if that answered your question, but hopefully it did.
I think it did. Should we stick with the women's division?
Sure. Let's go for it.
We talked about it last week, but it's like Shayna and Zoe Stark are a tag team because, we're going to start pretending like we care about Shayna, but now we're just going to stick her in a tag team. And, Zoe Stark, you had that great moment where you broke away from Trish. Well, we're just going to stick you in another tag team. Oh, and by the way, we're going to book you in a match against the champions, and we're going to have Nia Jax come out here and fucking destroy you all and sit on all your faces, but not in a good way. Night.
She's the annihilator.
Yeah.
I'm
all for Nia just beating people up because I think, again, I just saw a comment there. The reason why Nia Jax has value is because, A, your champion's Rhea Ripley. She needs legitimate people who can size up to her. You also have Raquel, who you're trying to build, who needs people who can size up to her. And you're signing Jade Cargill, who's going to need people who can size up to her. You know what Nia can do? Lose to all three of them. So, but it's a tough look for the tag belts. It's a tough look for Shayna and Zoe, who seem like they were going to start getting some care here. And yeah, they're not.
I think it's the biggest travesty that Shayna Baszler has a giant W, right? And then it's nothing. Now, granted, she was hurt probably after that match. It is what it is. But then, like, these last couple of weeks, it's just like she's back to being not important. I cackled and laughed when the Piper Niven and Chelsea were doing the whole thing. Like, you don't even know where where I am. I'm your tag runner. And she's like, Florida? Like, but she's great. And like, as I was watching that tag match, all I could think about was, holy shit, she's the most complete wrestler in this match. Chelsea Green is the most complete wrestler in that match.
Chelsea's amazing.
Like, better than Shayna, better than Zoe, better than Piper Niven, probably better than Nia Jax in terms of
She has more
character.
personality than all four of those women combined.
Yes.
And that's
absolutely.
not an insult. That's just how fucking good Chelsea Green is.
I just think that she deserves a lot. And again, when I was watching that, I mean, I love watching Nia destroy people because it makes the internet go fucking haywire.
It's absolutely great.
I want her to have the belt yesterday just so everybody can fucking be just upset.
No belts. Just job to my three. Job to the big three. Rhea, Raquel, and Jade. RRJ. Do the job, Nia.
I don't know. I mean, I know you're excited about Jade. I understand.
How could you not be? She is literally... This woman was made to be a megastar in WWE. And she made herself a fucking huge star in the minor leagues and is coming to the big show to follow the White Knight Cody. Oh my God. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Jade's going to be so fucking good in WWE. She's going to be so good.
So here's my question. And I know everybody probably thinks she's going directly to main roster, and that's probably what will happen.
Yeah, she is.
Do you think because she's only like 2 years in that she should maybe stay in NXT for like a hot second just to get something?
No, because she's been in NXT for 2 years. It's called AEW. She's ready for the big time, baby. It's one of those things when you get a personality and a talent like Jade, it's just like, especially who already has the exposure she has, and it's a big deal. Like, it's just she's coming up. It's just the way it is. She's money. She looks like money. She smells like money. She is money. Green like money. And so it just is. I'm curious what her name's going to be, because Nestlemania, you should be excited because you always laugh at Cargill. She's going to have a new last name if she has one at all. She might just be Jade.
Is Jade Cargill her real name?
I don't know, but she can't.
I'll wiki it while you go off on it. You set up quite a
yeah, Joe's the AEW writer. Look it. I like something. I listen to my AEW rant last week. They frustrate me. I like AEW, but it's just it's not comparable, man. It's not comparable.
I'm just thinking to myself, you're insulting the man, so that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, I love Joe, and like I said, I read his reports every week after I watch the show, and I enjoy them. I always get a good cackle, but it is what it is, man. Look,
Jade Cargill is her.
All my favorite wrestlers in the world work for AEW, but it is what it is. I can't wait till Ricky Starks joins Team Cody in WWE because he'll be an even bigger star over here. And MJF in 2029 is going to be fucking amazing in WWE.
I was trying to tell you, Jade Cargill is her real name.
That's what I thought. So yeah, she's gonna be Jade. She's gonna be Jade Money or something. I don't know, just Jade. Probably just be Jade.
Imagine if they changed her name like completely.
It has to have Jade in it somehow. I'd be shocked if it didn't.
It's gonna be tough.
But who knows? Maybe she owns her own name, and she's able to just come in like AJ Styles came in as AJ Styles. Tommaso Ciampa is Tommaso Ciampa. Johnny Gargano is Johnny Gargano. Like, we'll see.
Oof. All right, let's go through some quick heats then. I guess I would be remiss if I didn't do some of this nonsense. I think we're pretty good on SmackDown, right? We didn't really talk about anything. Oh, Bayley loses to Asuka with Psycho Shotzi and help and all that nonsense. Great.
Don't care.
Whatever. That was a fucking no thank you. No thank you. When do you say have a Jade as Storm cosplay? I would like that. Moving on. So here's the other thing too that
I like the cosplay.
I love X-Men, so I do like that idea. I think she said she wanted to be Storm in a Marvel
Who's your
movie.
favorite X-Men?
Gambit.
Yeah, that's the answer for everyone. I mean, he's cool. Come on.
He's from Louisiana, man. He's got that fucking charm. I don't know.
Who's your second favorite X-Men then?
Surprisingly, Storm.
Okay.
I like Storm an awful lot. So
I respect that.
I could see Jade Cargill being Storm. That'd be fucking cool as hell. Sorry to get whatever. Where are we? So we did Seth Rollins. We did the Ricochet nonsense. Whatever it is, what it is. So Reed beats Gable. This to me is the fucking what the fuck moment of the night.
They're doing the typical WWE. They built you up, and now they're going to tear you all the way back down. But fuck it, man. I'm all for Bronson Reed getting a little more rub, but I want to go back to the X-Men competition. Joe said his favorite's Rogue. Me too.
Okay.
Wait,
are we picking baby faces or heels? Because there's some pretty good heels in X-Men. Just throwing it
just
out there.
like the OG X-Men group. We don't need to get cute here with ones that some people might not have even know. But
I popped real hard for the Juggernaut when in the fucking movies. Like that just made me laugh. I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. Like come on. It is what it is. But what do you say? Oh Jesus. I can't.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway. Jeez Louise. Moving on to anything else that's not necessarily good. So Reed wins. It's whatever. It's a big fucking nonsense there. Ciampa talking about how he's going to go after Imperium. I couldn't care less about that at all. No, thank you.
Another notch on the Gunther belt.
Don't fucking give a goddamn about it. And I think that's pretty much anything I could think of here, unless we go to make fun of AEW. So I don't know.
Hope.
Let's get hopeful, shall we?
Glorious! I'll go first, Nestlemania, because you mentioned something. We kind of glazed right over it there, but I was watching SmackDown this week, and there was only one thing that I didn't really enjoy in that show, and that was unfortunately still the women's division. I was like, I think I know why I continue to hate this, is that get Bayley the fuck away from Io and Dakota, because it's one of those, like, first of all, Damage Control, drizzling shits has been, but I'm watching this, and I'm like, man, is Bayley one of the more underutilized talents right now? She's literally doing nothing. It's one of those things, and it's also like, I don't think I'm going to care about Io Sky's reign until she has to face Bayley, because I feel like that's like the biggest thing here. That's where the story is. That's where the money is. That's where the history is. And it's like, I want to see badass Bayley again, man. I want to see Bayley in the main events. I want to see Bayley having great matches. I want to see Bayley doing Bayley shit, man. So that's mainly my hope, is like fucking hashtag free Bayley. Get her out of Damage Control. Let Io spread her rings on her own. Dakota can go with one or the other. Doesn't matter to me. She's great either way. But it just, until they get to Io Bayley, I don't know how I'm going to care about this division. And I don't know what they're saving it for or how they're going to drag it out. But like, it's just one of those, they tease the Ascension forever. Now it's just gone. It's like they just hit pause on everything interesting in the SmackDown Women's division. Well, I'm here to hit play in my hope now. Play. Bayley, Io, split them, pit them against each other. Hashtag JC knows. Hashtag JC's hopes come true. Hashtag free Bayley.
I'm sure TJ can get behind that one for sure.
Yeah.
My hope is very odd, as I am, of course. So I was thinking about this as I was watching this. I'm like, holy fucking shit. We are going to get Judgment Day versus Cody and friends till fucking at least November. It feels like. So initially in my head, I went, okay, War Games, right? Because Cody's going to have a fucking hard-on for War Games because his dad created it. He's going to fucking want to bleed all over the goddamn place, get his platinum blonde hair all fucking bloody and look like a fucking...
He bleeds the hard way, though, unlike fucking those bitches there poking needles in their head.
Look in my eyes. What do you see?
Needles in my forehead.
Anyway, moving on. So this is my hope, right? So if we're going to do War Games, we do this. We go Sammy, KO, Cody, Jay, and Mac versus the Finster, Priest, Damian, and JD, and ... mystery opponent to be named.
Rhea Ripley.
Sure, let's put... I was going to say, let's leave it blank for this particular hope, but maybe, yeah, the Rhea thing's good.
You want to put CM Punk in the Judgment Day?
Hold on. Hold the fucking phone here. All right. What you do is you have the Judgment Day say, oh, my fucking, the whole thing is I'm going to try to have a partner. They can't find a fucking partner or whatever. In the match itself, the fucking baby faces are cooking. Here comes Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre turns heel, not joining the bloodline, just flat out fucking annihilates everybody, because I know when I'm going to lose, it's fucking coming. I'm going to lose. McIntyre's becoming a heel. But this seems like a legitimate point in which you can turn McIntyre, make him watchable, make him a fucking lone wolf kind of character, and let's just fucking go with it. You can even have CM Punk return at fucking Survivor Series to help the baby faces after the fact. I don't give a shit. But it's imperative to me that McIntyre switches gears, does something different, because when I'm watching him, he's resting on his laurels. There we go. Laurels. And he's been the same dude since 2019. That's fucking 4 or 5 years now. Give me something new with this guy. Give me something, for the love of God, because this is too much for me. I can't deal.
It took 2 weeks for Nestle to give up on the bet that he was so vehemently, he was willing to give me to WrestleMania. And I said, no, I only need till the end of the year. 2 weeks have passed, and he's all about main event Mac turning heel, baby.
Do you know what? Sometimes you got to cut your losses. I'm wrong.
I'm after 2 weeks.
Yes, I'm done. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm fucking wrong. I know it. I know I'm going to lose the bet. I don't care anymore. Like, let's just fucking get it over with. Because at this point, here's the thing, the longer it goes, the more I'm going to be upset. You know what I mean? Like, let's just get it over with at this point. That's how I look at it. I'm not cutting my fucking hair. We already discussed this.
That one.
You want me to wear a McIntyre shirt, or you want me to wear a fucking kilt in the program? Sure, I'll do that. But
figure something out.
Whatever. Like, you want me to have a big schlongy sword, the whole fucking thing? Whatever.
I have so many comments.
Yeah, I'm sure that in like 3 seconds, fucking Yogi Bear with his fucking paw hands will be fucking some type of stupid ass comment about my fucking hair or my fucking small sword or whatever the fuck he's going to type with his fucking bare hands. Jesus Christ.
Those bare hands are going to be on my back tomorrow. I can't wait.
He's got little sausage fingers. You ever notice that?
He literally cracks me with them every other week, and they're great.
If he's really that good at his job, why do you have to go every week?
I go every other week.
Oh, all right.
I'm pretty fucked up, Adam. I don't think you realize how fucked up my body is.
Adam? What have you been doing all this time? Sitting down?
A lot of things I've done to this thing.
All right, should we shake our comebacks, please?
Don't call it a comeback. Mine's going to someone who used to be an alien, who's not anymore, and is once again a best friend. I'm giving it to Chris Statlander this week because, I mean, she's obviously amazing. And as much as I did not love the way they had her beat Jade just out of nowhere, because I thought they really could have something special with it, I feel like they ended the Orange Cassidy reign as a great AEW champion of someone who just puts on banners every week. And one of his best friends has filled that role because Chris Statlander, quietly, since that moment has happened to Orange Cassidy, has been putting on banners after banner. In Nestlemania this week, she didn't just have one banner. She had 2 banners. One on Rampage in the main event against Jade Cargill, her farewell match. Probably Jade's best singles match ever. Best match period ever. This was a really good match. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. Yes, I'm recommending you watch something on Rampage. But then the next night on Collision, when it aired, not when it actually happened, but she wrestled in the main event once again against Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, who some may call the best wrestler in the world. The rest of us, I don't know if we'd go that far, but I will say this. This is probably the best wrestling match Britt Baker's had in a very long time because Stat is that damn good. So Chris Statlander's getting my comeback, not because she had 1 banner, but because she had 2 banners, and she probably had the 2 matches of the week till we got a match on Monday.
Okay.
That's me putting it on a plate for you, dumbass.
Okay, fine. My comeback this week is for Kofi Kingston and Ivar doing New England proud. I fucking love this match. We talked about this previously before we hit record, that fucking Twitter fucking went up in a blaze for these guys. I thought this match was it had no business being on the card, let alone being this fucking good.
I've seen Seger, wasn't it?
It was. And I was sitting there like, so I've watched Ivar, like, even, way back when I was trying to get into the business. I was setting up rings, watching him wrestle, and like watching this fucking 300-pound man throw a fucking spinning kick. And I'm like, this guy's fucking incredible. He could do the backflip. He pulled out the fucking backflip, which he never does. And I popped so hard for it. So Kofi Kingston gets us reminding again why he was a world champion, why he's fucking awesome. Because he's just he's a plug and play, as we talk about. Just can do whatever the fuck he wants. He's just that good. And then Ivar gets his fucking flowers. I think the dude's completely underrated. I would go as far as saying if Ivar broke away and did his own thing sometime, I'd be perfectly okay with it because I think he's believable. He looks like a fucking menace, and I'm happy for both these guys. I am really excited. I am so fucking excited that Kofi Kingston and Ivar from New England got their fucking shit. And I think that that's going to be the best part of the entire week going forward. I don't think anybody can top that match. I'm sorry. I know that people are going to fucking jerk off to Dynamite and fucking Arthur Ashe Stadium, but Jesus Christ, I don't think anybody's going to come close to that.
They have a pretty good card, so we'll see. But I will say this was kind of a throwback to the beginning of the Triple H era where there'd be two wrestlers that don't get featured a lot that would just be given time and put in an absolute banner. And it was part of the reason why we started to like really enjoy Raw again. I'm sorry, I'm really distracted because these two girls that have in Contender Series right now are both really hot. But wow. Good job, Dana. But yeah, what was I even talking about? I don't know. Yeah, this match was great. I enjoyed it. I was saying to you before the show, this is typically something I just fast forward because it means nothing. But I was like, I started to watch it. And I was like, oh, this is good. And then I happened to look at my timeline. Everyone talking about great it was. I'm like, well, now I got to watch the whole thing. And I'm glad I did. This delivered. Like I said, this stole the show for the match of the week for me. And yeah, I'm looking forward to more of this type of thing in Triple H on this 3-hour show of Raw. Give more people opportunities to just go out there and wrestle and show what they can do because it pays off.
So you said something to me before we started, I think, or maybe you mentioned on the program, I can't remember, but having the idea of like letting the wrestlers just wrestle to fill out the program instead of trying to fucking weave this nonsense that we have to
overexposing people. Because obviously, yes, we like threaded segments, but sometimes it's just with Raw, it's just too much. And it's like sometimes it's like the formula is just simple, man. Oh, hey, Kofi, you're really good at wrestling. Hey, Ivar, you never really get a chance. Oh, we got a little bit of size versus quickness in this one. Let's see what happens. Oh, you mix it all up, you get a banger.
And to go to Adam Burt, who fucking showed up late, so fuck you for showing up late, has Nestle ordered his I'm Not Like Most Girls t-shirt. If I wore a shirt that said I'm not like most girls, wouldn't that be a little bit alarming for people to look at? I don't know. It just seems odd for a man to wear that shirt.
I mean, you're allowed to have whatever pronouns you want, Adam.
No, I know, but all I'm saying is like you guys gonna give me shit either way if I wear a Nia Jax
Maybe
shirt.
that's the shirt you have to buy when Drew McIntyre.
If there's a Nia Jax shirt that says I'm not like most girls, I will fucking buy that shirt. All right. If he turns heel, that I'll do whatever you want me to do. If you want me to wear some Nia Jax gear,
does Nia Jax even have merch?
I don't know. I'll look up while you're fucking blowing your load about fucking recapping the rest of the week or whatever.
All right. Well, we're going to the big old finish because guess what? You talk about blowing loads. Isn't that what happens when you finish? If not, then guess what, buddy? You're not finishing. Whereas you're not doing it correctly. We head over to SmackDown. We have Io Sky versus Asuka, I believe is for the title. We also have Santos and Rey, the better part of the LWO, taking on the Street Profits. Give me Io Sky and give me the Street Profits.
Io Sky needs to fucking win some actual matches for the love of fucking God.
Feud with Bailey. Hashtag JC's hopes come true.
There's only one Nia Jax shirt, by the way. This is Irresistible Force, and it's the ugliest shirt you'll ever see. So we're not doing that.
Maybe we have to get you a face shirt.
Oh my God, no. No,
the Britt Baker shirt.
Oh God, I'll just borrow it from my brother. I'm sure my brother has one, for crying out loud.
Oh, God, he probably has it in every color.
He probably does.
That's SmackDown. Cena will be on it too. I don't know what he's doing, but
so do you feel like Cena's been kind of like not doing anything?
Yeah, but what did you expect him to do?
I was kind of hoping him to have one singles match. That's it.
I mean, I want him to have a singles match with Grayson Waller. I want him to have he's going to have the singles match with Jimmy Uso. Him and Solo, maybe that's a longer term plan, but yeah, I mean, it's one of those, I think Cena's enough of an attraction where I don't know, is he going to be on any live events, premium live events, or is it just SmackDowns?
I would imagine he's going to be, they said he's going to be on the Saudi Arabia one, right? So
okay, so I would imagine like him and Jimmy's a match that happens at a big event. Maybe him and Grayson happens on a SmackDown, but I'm sure we're gonna get some tag matches and shit mixed in. But I mean, as long as he, like last week, I enjoyed that. But yeah, I wouldn't mind them mixing in a little bit of something on the side.
Something you say.
Something. Speaking of something, we go to Raw, where this is just this was actually my biggest heat of the week. I didn't bring it up, but we have a North American title match between Dom Mysterio and Dragon Lee on Raw. But here's the thing. Mustafa Ali beat Dragon Lee to become the #1 contender for the North American title. It is facing Dom at No Mercy. But the man he beat is getting a title match on Raw before he gets his match. What the fuck are we doing? This is some AEW Tony Khan bullshit, Triple H. What are you doing? He needs to hold a press conference and allow me to ask a question because I'm not going to fucking suck his cock like those other losers. I'm going to ask him a hard-hitting question. Like, what's up with that? What the fuck is this shit?
Are you
happening on Monday?
Are you trying to make fun of a certain 10 count?
No.
Okay.
I don't slander people.
Okay. Just curious. Just
But yeah, but
curious.
why is this happening? Why just look I'm all for Dom and Dragon Lee. I'm all for Dragon Lee getting a little rub on Raw, but like he literally just lost the #1 contendership and he's getting the title match before the guy who beat him. What?
Well, you're telling us that it doesn't matter. Dragon Lee's even in the match.
It
doesn't
makes
matter.
no fucking sense.
I don't care about this match now because Dragon Lee's not winning.
No shit. It just is so nonsensical. But yeah, that's a match on Raw. We also have a rematch out of nowhere. Sammy and KO challenging the Judgment Tree for tag titles. This also feels like it's just like a check mark. We're moving on.
I don't give a shit about this. I kind of want to see Sammy and KO just disband at this point.
Then we also have the main event of Raw, the hashtag meat match of the week. Bronson Reed taking on Otis.
Meat match of the week. We need to make that a t-shirt.
Hashtag meat match of the week, baby.
Meat match of the week and full circuit, baby.
Full circuit on the meat match of the week.
If we got to tell TJ right away that full circuit has to be a shirt right away. I can't. It's gonna sell like hotcakes. Otis is gonna take a big dub, right?
Yeah.
No, Bronson Reed,
know.
baby. If Gable can't put away Reed, then Reed's gonna eat both of them. That's it.
Yeah, this match should just continue to enhance Reed. But yeah, then we go AEW. They've been hyping something this week. What's it called? The Grand Salami. The Grand Salami. There's matches on Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision. That's right. We're previewing Rampage this week, Nestlemania. But I will say this Dynamite card on Wednesday is pretty fucking good. And you know me, I went on my rant last week. But these are some pay-per-view level matches. The one I actually probably care the least about is MJF versus Samoa Joe for the title. But that's the main event. What do you think?
I mean, if Joe wins, I'd be fucking floored, but that ain't happening. MJF,
Yeah.
MJF.
Then this match, I care about it. It's a winner take all match for both their titles, but I care about it because I love Eddie Kingston. We're finally getting Claudio Castagnoli taking on Eddie Kingston in a winner take all match.
I mean, I think that the slam dunk here is that Claudio wins, but
no, I think Eddie wins. I think
really
Eddie has to win. Okay. Eddie has to win. That's the stories, unless if they're just going to do a rematch, which they could. This could be the setup for like the bigger match, but I feel like this feud has been going like literally since Claudio signed with AEW, and they're finally paid it off. And I feel like he's just been keeping that Ring of Honor championship warm till they had someone to be the face of it. I think Eddie's that guy.
This is probably
Eddie loves his little. What's the name of the New Japan title he has?
The Strong Open or whatever.
Yeah. So
can I just make maybe you're right, but here
it's also in Eddie's home turf.
Yeah. Can I make, as much as I love Eddie Kingston, can I just make a comment and see how people feel about this?
Oh, we're not gonna like it. Me and Dom are gonna fight you, but yes, say it.
Okay. The fact that Ring of Honor is supposedly a promotion in which they focus on the best wrestling is going to have a world champion, Eddie Kingston, who would probably rather look like Homer Simpson than put on a fucking wrestling match.
I don't disagree, but that's why I love this, because fuck you, Ring of Honor, and your prudy tooty fucking bullshit fucking pure champions. Fuck off. No, give me the grit. Give me the snarl. Give me the rub some dirt on it. Give me Eddie fucking Kingston, baby.
I mean, I love Eddie. I think he's the best promo in the business right now. I do. But
I wouldn't go that far, but he's one of the best.
He's the most realistic promo that they have.
He's the best. He's the best babyface promo in the business. How about that?
Okay, I'd buy that.
Yeah,
but the thing is, okay, sorry.
Oh no, go aheed.
I was just gonna say it's hard for me to believe him as world champion. Well, world champion of Ring of Honor.
It's a fucking fake world championship. Come on, what are we doing here? But I think it makes sense. It's on his home turf. It'd be a cool moment. Be a cool way to kick off the show. Start the show with him and the show with MJF. You're sending everyone home happy. But no, this is the next match. I'm into it just because of the story here. Jericho versus Sammy, man, and I hope Sammy fucking wins.
I think that Jericho wins because Jericho's taken some losses lately.
I think he's also turning full on Sammy here. It feels like this is going to be Jericho like really being the bad guy and sending Sammy officially as a big, because they literally turned Sammy babyface. They got the reaction they wanted, the crowd supporting him, but now he's just kind of been in this weird Jericho vortex where people are still wanting to cheer for him, but he's hanging out with this fucking D-bag character. So it's a weird dynamic.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes, no, maybe so.
I think that they're going to pair Sammy with fucking Don Callis, because Jericho is just getting over being kind of this quasi whatever rock star thing he's doing, and he's kind of a baby face. I think it just makes more sense to have all these people that hate Jericho become a giant family of beating up Chris Jericho. So,
I don't know. I feel like they just turned Sammy, so to flip him again, it was a Big Show. But I believe we have two more matches on Dynamite. We have a fucking John Moxley trying to do his best Orange Cassidy impression with the international title. He's defending against Rey Fenix.
I think as much as I enjoy John Moxley, I believe that John Moxley is unwatchable.
That's a take.
I just don't believe. Here's the thing. He's got a lot of grit. He's wrestling the style he likes. He's definitely believable. But if he has to fucking bleed every single time he's wrestling, it turns me off completely. I think if you save the bleeding every once in a while, Mox, then you know what? You don't become a fucking caricature of yourself. You don't go whoop, 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 whoop. You know, you see, yes, you're doing the shock and awe. You know you can wrestle. You know you can do these things, but you don't want to, and that's fine. But for me as a viewer, when I see John Moxley on my screen, first off, he needs to change Wild Thing because a heel shouldn't have people singing onto a song. Yes, I know it's a Japanese reference to another wrestler, and I understand that, but I'm over that. You got to change it. You want to be a heel. Secondly, if he keeps fucking bleeding this time, he's just going to be a fucking clown. That's it. And he's never going to be a good as a champion, no matter what championship he holds. He's never going to be as good as Orange Cassidy. Plain and simple.
I'm trying to think how to say this perfectly, but bluntly. Oh, yeah. Okay. So John Moxley is the perfect example of why you don't let wrestlers book their own shit. That's, I think, the biggest issue with me in AEW. Like, there are pieces of genius, but it literally like feels like John Moxley just calls his own shots whenever he wants, and he just does whatever he wants, and there's no accountability, whether it's good or bad. And look at him, he's super over. He's really good. He definitely is one of the best in the world. He's not top 3. Sorry, PWI. You guys are idiots. Ours is better. Jobberknocker.com. Check out our list. It's much better. Top 10. Yeah, I agree with your points. I don't need you blading yourself every fucking match and all this bullshit. Like, come on. Rey Fenix, though, amazing. He'll probably
Rey Fenix. The other thing I say about John Moxley is you watch one John Moxley match, you've seen them all.
Don't disagree. I don't disagree. But we have one more match on Dynamite Nestlemania, and it is the AEW Women's Championship. I'm surprised we're getting this soon, but Saraya defends her newly won belt against one of the more interesting characters in AEW right now, Miss Toni Storm.
The RJ City interview with Toni Storm was fucking awesome. Like, if we can do more, I do love RJ City. I really do. I think he has such great comedic timing that I wish I could hang out with that dude. So Toni Storm to me is the best woman's character going today, right now, on a hot streak.
Better than Mommy?
Yes.
Mommy's a pretty damn good character.
Here's the thing. She has nobody to fight. She's not doing anything new.
Doesn't matter. It's a character.
But she's
Tony's
been that
not
way
really
for a while.
fighting anyone. She's fighting Saraya.
No, that's not true. She's doing something now.
Yeah, and Mommy's a champion. So no, I think if you would have said AEW, I would have given you that.
Okay, fine. AEW. She's the best.
The only other two characters they ever had are freaking Britt Baker and Jade Cargill, and one's leaving.
Yeah. So and one's completely overrated, but that's beside the point.
Underrated if you ask some. You know, that's a different debate for a different day. But I'm assuming we're both picking Saraya.
I don't want to pick her, but yes.
No, I always want to pick her. Love her. Stud. We head over to Rampage Nestlemania. That's right, Nestlemania. I have 3 Rampage matches for you. We have the 6-person trio championships. Everybody loves the Acclaimed defending against the Who Gives a Shit. The Acclaimed are going to retain. I'm not going to say their name because they don't deserve it. Next up, we have Darby and Sting. That's right. Sting's wrestling on Rampage, taking on the TNT champion and everyone's father, Christian and Luchasaurus.
Somewhere Dom's got a giant boner for this because Sting's involved. He's gonna
Dom says Sting should be in the top 10.
No, Dom puts Sting. Dom puts Sting in his top 10.
I know.
And I love Dom, but what the fuck was he
Tony
thinking?
Khan says he's on the best run of his career. Dom's freaking the cool.
God.
Look at Sting in AEW is infinity times better than I thought it would be because they have booked him perfectly. The match with fucking him and Darby versus Brian Cage and I think it was Ricky Starks back then, right? Fucking one of my favorite matches in AEW history. It's one in the warehouse. It's kind of cinematic-y. It's when I became a Brian Cage fan. Like they've hit all the right notes with Sting, but come on. But actually, you know what? I'm kind of excited for this match. I'm not gonna lie. Sting is must-see TV, as is Christian.
Well, you're waiting for the poor bastard to fucking jump off of something and hurt himself.
He's interesting. For a fucking geezer, and I'm a fucking old shamer in wrestling, but good God, I fucking care about Sting. Dom's onto something. Ain't the top 10, but he's onto
I'm
something.
I'm literally waiting for Sting to turn to the camera right before he jumps and goes, "Hi, I'm Sting. Welcome to Jackass," and then just jump. That's all I'm looking for. That's it. That's it.
Oh.
Sorry.
And then what I perceive to be the main event of Rampage, the Hun Bucks take on the Mogul Embassy.
Don't give a flying fuck anymore.
Me either. It's another 6-man tag. And then we go to Collision, where I believe we have 4 matches. Well, we have matches booked. And then we have also RVD returns. There's one. But then we have this one. This sneaky banner out of nowhere. Andrade versus Jay White.
I'm excited for this because I think that Jay White is a fucking big deal, or should be. And I've always been a huge supporter of an Andrade, but he's just never got up there. You know what I mean?
He never has had a bad match his entire career.
But that guy has so much fucking potential. Like, the fact that he's not a world champion to me is bizarre.
He was an NXT world champion.
I don't count that. That doesn't count.
Well, you're a fucking hater. I count it. Then we have another FTR Open challenge where it wasn't really open because a challenge was done immediately. They're taking on the Work Horsemen, who I don't know. The last couple teams they faced, they all look like Briggs and Jensen to me.
I can't look. I think that having this open challenge, like you made a joke last week, is great.
It would be good if it was an actual open challenge, but AEW doesn't do open challenges. They do. I'm going to have one, and then immediately someone says, I'll take it on. Guess what? That's not an open challenge anymore.
I think here's my only critique of this entire thing. And again, I don't know shit about shit when it comes to fucking FTR and what they're going to do. But if they are supposed to be the greatest tag team on this planet, as he says, if they have fucking problems struggling with these no-name tag teams,
I mean, look at
that bothers me. Dude, I know it's an illusion. I get that.
It's the same thing like when Kenny Omega was the champion and he had a fucking 25-minute match with Alan Angels and everyone got mad. It's just like they're trying to entertain you in the ring. Like, again, I don't disagree, but it's one of those. That's why I thought, and why I put it in the shine, why I thought Cody squashing Dom this week. I was like, whoa, because you don't always expect it, but every now and then they like to remind you. But it's that shit doesn't bother me, man. It's because they just want to wrestle, and it's one of those things. Especially like the majority of the AEW audience, when we talk to Kenny, they just want to see good wrestling matches. They don't give a fuck about stuff that matters, and that's why we sour on AEW a lot quicker than other people because it's just like it's not geared exactly to how we like it.
It's bizarre that we're from the same family. I will say that much.
Yeah, it is. He's way cooler than you. Then we have the main event of Collision, a Texas death match, but I believe we're not in Texas. Ricky Starks taking on Bryan Danielson, because that's what Bryan Danielson needs to do, is have a fucking death match.
That poor bastard is going to literally be a bag of bones by the time he's like 50 years old. Like, as much as he is an amazing talent, I keep thinking to myself, yeah, let's just fucking have him go 150 miles an hour. Let's let him do that. Like, Tony Khan needs to grow a set or find somebody that he can employ that has a set of balls that tell these people, knock it the fuck off. That's it. Because the fact that everybody's running around, fucking Moxley's doing this, fucking Daniel Bryan's walking around with a broken arm going, I'll fucking fight you. I don't give a shit. I'll just beat you with my fucking cast. And fucking Ricky Starks is fucking posing and doing nonsense over here.
You leave Ricky Starks alone. I love him.
And then fucking FTR is having a fucking hard time putting 2 tag teams to fucking bed. They don't fucking matter. Like, what are we doing
this team's
here?
Called the Work Horsemen. It sounds like they work really hard.
Yeah, that's really good. It's just like, and then the fucking Young Bucks look like they're in sophomore year. They don't give a flying fuck about God knows what. Hangman looks like a fucking bag of milk. Like, I'm done. I can't. Like,
Hangman hasn't cared in like 2.5 years.
It's unbelievable.
CM Punk was right, man. People can say what they want, but CM Punk was right.
It's unbelievable when I watch. I want AEW to succeed so badly, but I cannot support some of these fucking matches. Like, I will watch Dynamite. I will not watch Rampage unless you tell me that it's a fucking amazing match. I used to watch Collision, and now Collision to me is not watchable. I skip
Rampage a lot, but I do the same thing. If I saw Jade with Statlander was the main event, so I did watch that.
It's not must-see TV anymore. It's just not.
It has nothing to do with
Punk.
Was. Has nothing to do with Punk. Collision was already gonna fucking have a lot of trouble with college football coming back, but losing CM Punk literally put the fucking nail in it. And it sucks because I still think it's the better AEW show. It's just like it's doomed for a while, maybe ever. Might be dead. Look in my eyes. What do I see? The cult of sadness, because my favorite wrestling show is dead. But
All right,
NXT, baby, always coming through.
On that note, you got anything else or get the fuck out of here?
No, let's get the fuck out of here.
All right, folks. Thank you for listening and watching with us. We will be back next week with more Jabbernackery.